Welcome back to the Happy Hour, guys, and it's time for Book Club. So today we are covering Joshua M. Bernstein's new book, Brewed Awakening, which we're really excited about. Behind the beers and brewers leading the world's craft brewing revolution.
Well, welcome back to the Happy Hour, guys. We are at one of our favorite spots in New York City. We're at the Pony Bar on the west side. It would have been one of the Westies hangouts about 30 years ago, and actually it really was.
So we are here with Joshua M. Bernstein, who has written this fantastic book, Brewed Awakening.
I can tell you it's a much better title. The working title for the book was actually New Beer. I spent months sitting there, like, racking my brain, like, I have a better title than New Beer. That's what the publishers want. So, like, one night I was, like, sitting around jotting down things like Brewed Awakening.
I've been lucky enough to read it. It's a fantastic book. It's a must, I think, for anybody who's really interested in craft beer, period. Tell us a little bit about your background and how this came into being.
Well, I'm a journalist by trade. I've been in New York for about 11 years, a freelance writer for 10 and a half years, which is probably misguided in the beginning. So, what that basically means is I was a freelance writer and basically a receptionist. And then, you know, over time, keep trying to go out there and putting stories out there, pitching, and then finally I got a break with New York Press. And they gave me a column, which for a 24-year-old, 25-year-old kid, I was like, I got my own column. And then I wrote about bars, because that's what I did a lot in my early 20s. And that kind of led into being more interested in beer and food, and then, because you can't really just go out and drink all night long. Though I did try. It just was kind of a perfect storm where I got one story after the other. I got picked up by New York Magazine. Time out in New York, started working for them, writing about beer. Then I started working for Imbibe magazine, which they hired me to be their beer feature writer on the second issue. And then, you know, it was just one thing after the next.
But it's all because of beer.
It is because of beer.
Much of it.
Well, what I try to bring to the beer writing, I think, is just that the craft beer industry, like, you know, is an industry of stories and people and passion and creativity. Well, what ends up happening oftentimes is, you know, people forget about the people behind it, that the beer didn't just end up in the glass.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Perfect timing for this book, because there's never been a more exciting time for beer, probably in the history of mankind, which is saying something, because beer has been a part of mankind for a long time. This is the free beer map that comes with every copy of Josh's book. Actually, it's the dust jacket, but it's brilliant because it's functional, and it takes you through the world of beer, and Josh recommends some of his favorites so that you can go out and do the same.
And dust jackets are kind of dead space oftentimes, which you could just paper, so they just flipped the script and actually took advantage of what would usually just be a blank sheet.
It's very, very clever.
What do you say to people who come to you and say, it's confusing to me, I walk into a bar like this and there's all this stuff on the wall and I don't know what's right, I don't know what tastes good. What do you do to simplify that for them if you can? Because it gets more complex by the day.
I think what the easiest thing to do is say, like, what flavors do you like? And that's really how I go about it. He really loves, you know, Miller Lite. I'm not going to tell him it's a crappy beer. It's like you're not going to get them to try something new. I'm like, oh, you love that flavor profile of like of a night, so you like that crisp lager Pilsner
another
style.
Czech Pilsner that you might like.
Or try Vickers Brewed Hills, an American brewed beer, just like Miller Lite. In this day and age of publishing, they tried to create a product that was something that you wanted to hold and you wanted to actually own it, instead of it just being another assemblage of words on paper.
But it's totally in keeping with our philosophy, which is laugh, learn, drink. So we've been laughing a lot today, thanks to Josh's fantastic book. We've been learning a lot, and we're going to continue drinking.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Cheers. Corner of 45th and 10th, on the west side of Manhattan. Love it here. If you're ever within 1,000 miles or so of New York, you should definitely stop by here.